What's up, everybody? Welcome to the NBA SA show, season 4, episode 1. Gentlemen, welcome back.
My bro, here for the regular season because
Can you
it
believe it?
matters.
Timmy, how are you, bruh?
I just want to point out that every time Wesley speaks, Zoom decides to show Kirk's face.
For
That's
real?
my best Wesley impression.
I'm awesome. I can't believe that it had to take Kirk having a mutiny to get us here, but I appreciate it.
Yeah,
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 having a
me too.
mutiny to get us here, right? And then not sticking it on time. I just want to start off the season
Yeah,
holding
yeah,
everybody accountable here.
yeah.
No.
All right, listen. Let's get straight into it quickly. Kirk, I want to start with you, bruh. We are 10 games in, and as a neutral fan, because I know you can be quite neutral, um, give me the first team that comes to mind that looks hot at the moment and why, bro? Who's your team?
Okay, see,
Why?
they're playing such free basketball. And like to take a page out of Timmy's book, they really enjoy each other. They look like a bunch of
Yeah.
guys that get along. And
Vibes,
the
vibes,
Bobs, the Bobs,
vibes.
Bruce, the Bobs. And man, they just play a exciting brand of basketball.
Mm,
I
mm.
enjoy watching. Yeah.
Okay. Timmy?
If you had asked me this 3 weeks ago, I'd have said Lakers because Lakers were fly, and I was like, "My bro, the Lakers
Okay.
are
Don't
on
worry,
lock
we're
for
going to talk about
conference
them.
finals."
Boo.
Timmy, what's happening? You can't pick Dallas. You can't pick Dallas yet. Who's the
Okay.
one team that's standing out for you?
Look, we would be remiss in our responsibilities of this podcast not to mention a team that hasn't freaking lost a game yet.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do I truly believe in them? No. No, I
you
don't.
can't pick a team that's like not even in the top 5 of either conference.
But
But
we
yeah,
gotta
that team,
we gotta give the Cavs a mention here, right? What 12,
yeah.
12 and 0, 12 and
12 and 0.
that's mad. That
Have
is
you watched
mad.
any of the games, bro?
Yeah, no, they look good.
What do you think? What do
They
you
look
think?
hard.
Why are they 12 and 0 when others aren't? Are they clicking sooner? What do you think it is?
Well, it's taken them 3 seasons to click. So, I mean, sooner is the wrong word. But there is something to be said about continuity. That does make a difference. It makes a
Yeah.
difference. New coach makes a difference.
Yeah.
Some of the players who are young, figuring themselves out, makes a difference. Actually, maybe that's more of it. So Garland was a budding star. Mobley was a budding star. Right? But these guys are young. Right?
Yeah.
It takes some time to find yourself and to find yourself in your professional space and in a team and not many teams have the patience to wait for that, especially if you're meant to be a star already. And so I think that organization had enough patience all around. They allowed some guys to mature and now they're reaping the benefits of it. So
Mm,
kudos to them. Wouldn't bet on them in the playoffs, but enjoy it while
mm,
it lasts.
mm, mm. Kirk, let's get straight into what the people want to talk about is
Not the
what
Lakers.
is it what does it feel like to play basketball in a 40-year-old body?
Who's 40 years old?
LeBron James will turn 40 next month.
Ah, I thought you were
And
talking about the
this
fact that
bruh
Kirk just came from practice.
Not in a
nice, nice.
40-year-old body. I wish I was in a 40-year-old body. I would pay good money to be in a 40-year-old body.
You're right. Ask him about that 60-year-old body of his.
My question I want to know, Kirk, man, is how is LeBron James doing it at this age? A serious question a lot of people always ask me is they say, is LeBron really that old to be doing what he's doing? How impressive is it? Just talk from a point of, just as a guy who's been playing basketball for a long time, right? You also have you over 40, Musa over 40. But how impressive is it, bruh?
Are you just
I mean,
asking Kirk the question because he's old? Because
yes, I
that,
think
that,
so.
Because he's
that's a
now
little,
older.
that's a little bit
Because
ageist.
I too have been above average at an old age. Exemplary. I have produced exemplary things on a basketball court at 42 years old.
He's shooting this podcast from his cryo chamber.
So I mean that's just it. I mean LeBron, he's he's a freak of nature. That physique, he's so freaking strong, and I mean it's like unfathomable how he can be this good at this age. I mean,
Yeah.
like the other night, he got a triple double. The other night, he was stats padding a Musa, but I mean, he got a triple double when AD stepped out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's unheard of to be able to be playing at this level at this age, and I think a big part of it is genetics, but also a huge factor is science. I mean, he is
Yeah.
doing some heavy recovery stuff and just to keep his body in tip-top shape. So how much of it is science and how much of it is genetics, I don't know.
Timmy?
I would just like to say it might be the beginning of the season, but you guys are in absolute playoff form, right? Wesley, to get Kirk to say something nice about LeBron, right? World class, right? Kirk accepting the challenge and still giving the backhanded stat padding so out there. Amazing shit.
I
Just
mean,
just amazing all around, guys. I missed you guys so much. Missed
Yeah.
you guys so much.
Yeah.
a rose by any other name is still a rose.
All right, Timmy, here's your moment to shine, bro. Here's your moment
No,
to shine.
too soon.
Nah. Let him get it. He must get it off his chest. He must get it off his
Wait,
chest.
before. Let him gather himself. Let him gather his thoughts.
I'm taking my
Okay.
top off. What am I doing?
Please don't take your top off.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make one observation. I think that AD has been given the keys to LeBron's cryo chamber because in the past 3 years, that man has not like been injured. So I think that there is some insider trading going on, and LeBron is giving him some advice on how to keep his body in shape. I mean, the other day I saw AD drive to the basket, fall over, fall on the ground, get up by himself and play on. That has never happened. In past seasons, if AD falls over, he's done for 4 weeks.
Fun fact, I think they only do unscheduled drug tests, like for roids and stuff, in your rookie's year.
Why would you go there? You just went dark on this now.
Yeah.
What else explains all of a sudden not injured anymore?
Nah, science. You heard,
Yeah.
Kirk. It's science.
I mean,
Yeah.
chemistry is also science.
Roids are also science. The definition of science.
Facts.
Yeah. People in the corporate world, people are so impressed with AI, right? Roids was just AI, except in the athlete sport ages ago.
Analog AI.
Moving on. All right.
Okay. Yes.
Timmy, the Dallas Mavericks are off to a, let's call it 50-50 start.
They are 100% a 50-50
Yeah.
shot because they are 5 and 5.
Yeah.
Like a mime, buddy, like a mime.
You've got a champion shooter that just came to your club. You have a champion point guard slash shooting guard in Kyrie that is an experienced player now, along with Luka. You've got what we, I guess, call a generational talent in Luka Doncic, and it would be very difficult to already count Dallas out of the playoff conversation, right? I think that's fair to say. As a Dallas fan, as a guy who's been following Dallas and this entire journey of picking up all these new players, how do you feel so far? What do you think is going to happen the rest of the season? And just like give me the insider Dallas news, bruh. What are people from Dallas saying? None of us follow Dallas pages like you follow Dallas pages. But give us
You
for
guys are
the
missing
people
out.
that don't know,
You guys are
people that don't know
missing
what
out.
must they know?
Maybe just so hindsight's an amazing thing. Kirk, you said if you had to pick a team 3 weeks ago, you would have picked the Lakers, right? Just in terms of interest or things that are looking good. I'd go if we had to do an episode, right? First day of the season or a little bit of preseason, almost certainly all of us would have picked Dallas, if not in the top two coming out of the I suppose the whole league, right? Probably in the West. If you had to say they'd get into conference finals, everybody would go, yeah, absolutely. Right? It would be strange if you didn't, because one finals team, two they got better, right? At least on paper, at this stage.
Yeah.
Very interestingly, right? In terms of those pages, there's probably a little irritation. I'll talk about my personal irritation around what is or isn't happening, but I don't think there's any panic buttons at this stage, right? So the games that they've lost, broadly being competitive, they've lost against good teams rather than bad. And the Pacers team you can quibble about, right? Also, they are currently 11th in the West with a 5-5 record. Do you know where they would be in the East with that same record?
Third.
Third.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They're not in the East, eh?
No, but they're not in the East. But but there are a couple of things here, and the commentary around what they're saying is useful. And Kyrie will say it a lot. Jason Kidd will say it a lot. Even Clay said it on a couple of occasions. This takes time. It takes time to blood in specifically players who are meant to be a little bit more than role players. Right. So at this point in time, the offense isn't a flow yet. In fact, they had more flow in the offense previously. Right. I think that they expected to put Clay in the corner, right, when the double team comes, because double teams have always been coming, then they would just kick it out to Clay. But actually, Clay goes into the corner, right, and when Luka or Kyrie drives, right, actually, you'll see that guy face guards Clay. Nobody leaves that dude, right? And so that's a difficult thing to do, because if you are running a play to create space in a particular area and it doesn't come, it means you've got to change, and you've almost all of a sudden got to go from I'm creating space to I'm going to score, right? That takes a little bit of getting used to. Then I suppose the injuries to PJ Washington and Lively really hurt. That's the backbone of their defense, right? And at this point in time, what is really painful, especially when you get to the end of close games, is they give up like 3-4 possessions at the end of each 2 minutes of each quarter, just because they're giving up that many offensive rebounds, and they've gone into a weird zone at this stage. Now that zone will be cleared up, they'll sort out their rebounding issues, and they'll get some additional timing, and then they're going to be freaking lethal. And so, is it annoying that they're losing these games and I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning for them? 100%. But they're still fun. It's cool. The vibes look fine. A little bit worried about Clay when he doesn't get shots up. He looks like a dude that could get moody, right? But at some stage, it'll all click,
He's
and they're
always
gonna.
been a guy that
They,
looks like he gets moody.
yeah, true
Yeah,
story.
that's true.
Yeah, but
True.
but when he shoots and that goes in, it looks beautiful.
Amazing.
It
Yeah.
looks beautiful, and so I think that they're going to be super scary when it all clicks, and they experience enough not to stress about that.
Okay. Kirk, let's move on to Golden State, bro. You've been a season after season after season follower of Golden State. Where are they at, bro? What must people know about Golden State Warriors? Good start by beating Boston, huh? That was a great win.
Are they for real?
They've got Steph Curry. They've got Steph Curry. They must be for real.
I think that...
Hold on. You say they've sorry, Kirk. Could you name 8 of their players on their roster?
Who cares? You got Steph, bruh.
I
Who
can't.
cares? Yeah. It's
I
Draymond
can really
and
name the starting five.
Yeah, Draymond, Steph, and the other brasser. That's it.
Buddy Hield. We're gonna do this actually. Buddy Hield, cool.
Yeah. But let's give
Jackson,
Kirk a
Wiggins,
chance.
Jackson,
Let's give
Jackson
Kirk a
Davis.
chance.
Kuminga.
Does Kuminga count?
Yeah, he's actually playing quite well.
Wiggins is
He's
playing well. Wiggins is playing well.
he's not shooting.
Kuminga isn't. Wiggins
It's
is.
Kuminga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if I watch the first 3 minutes of a Golden State game, if Wiggins comes out fucking popping, I switch off because I know they're gonna play. Zedra mustn't shoot. He must go to the basket. But he thinks he's a splash brother.
We all want to be a splash brother.
Oh wait, that is true. What Tim is still naming the other
No, my bad.
30.
You can carry on. As you were.
But it feels like the role players are settling into their roles. They tried a few different pieces, and they had a bunch of square pegs, and they were trying to get them into round holes. But it looks like there's a nice balance to the team at the moment. And fucking Buddy Hield, bruh, if you are a goldfish in this league and you land in Golden State, bruh, you land with your hat in the bucket because that team is geared for shooting. And if you forget that you miss 500 shots, bruh, you in heaven. And he's fitting in nicely. He's fitting in
Jordan
nicely.
Poole
Until you're only good until you cuck.
Yeah. Till we replace you. Till we replace you.
No, you can be a goldfish. You just mustn't be a doers. There's a difference.
Yeah, you mustn't. You can be a goldfish. You mustn't be in the pool.
Yeah.
Moving along. Look, while I got you here, bruh, Carl Anthony Towns is with New York now. And Memphis was a serious threat last year. Now they've lost Cat. They got this new team with this young leader. What's happening in Minnesota?
It's fine. He made a mistake.
Legit?
Tim is looking at you with such disdain. He made a mistake. It's okay. He called them Memphis, but they were actually Minnesota.
Minnesota, yes. My bad. Minnesota Timberwolves. Carl Anthony Towns is left. Anthony Edwards is still there.
You know, my acid test is always if your intention is to make it to the finals, make it to the conference finals, make it to the second round. You build a team for that, right? And getting Cat is not going to get you that. He's going to look great in the regular season. He's going to put up numbers. He's going to step out. He's going to bomb threes. Blah, 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 blah. He's going to look fantastic. But when you play an elimination game, are you going to want to put the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter? Blah, 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 blah. We've seen that movie, and we've seen how that movie pans out. And that's why they got rid of him, because they had somebody better to give the ball to in the fourth quarter.
But I mean,
so they're gonna be good. They're gonna win a lot of games. He's gonna put up numbers. But I'll wait till the conference finals before I make my judgment on him. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, while the East is sparse, they are competitively sparse. They are also bad that they will be competitive. They're all equally bad. Besides Cavs and Boston for now.
Yeah. But I want to know your thoughts on Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man, you know my feelings on the Ant-Man. He's the next thing, man. He's the next thing.
And as a team, do you think now that they've lost this key player, can they still be competitive?
Again, it's going to take them a while to figure it out. But the nice thing about the smaller markets is they get given time. There's not that amount of pressure on them to deliver now, because they're a smaller market and they've got time. So I think they'll be patient with what they've got and they'll ride it out. And I
Mm.
think I think they'll be okay. I don't think they'll make conference finals this year.
Yeah.
They'll maybe make the second round. They'll have a good second round, and I don't think they'll make it through the second round.
Mm. You know, I do think are a type of team that are immediately going to be chasing a championship this year is the Phoenix Suns. They've come out blazing. Durant looks hot, and Bradley Beal looks like they figured it out. To me, are the Suns legit? Uh, are we going to see the classic Kirk line where we'll wait for the playoffs? I just think
Hey,
they look fire. They look
hey,
fire. Your thoughts, bro?
One, they're legit. Two, they still annoy the shit out of me. They're hard. They're a hard team. They're a hard team to watch and support. And I love Durant. He's amazing. I whenever team I support is playing against the team of his, I have fear in my heart every time he
Mm.
catches the ball, and especially at the end of a game. He is lethal,
Yeah.
lethal. It's wonderful to watch. But he's injured again.
Mm,
They're gonna have to nurse that. The one thing you mentioned, Bradley Beal, and what has stood out for me the most is that he's started to be very comfortable doing role player stuff. The amount of offensive boards, offensive taps, little deflections he's getting on defense, all that dirty work in between that maybe doesn't show up completely on a stat sheet, Bradley Beal is starting to do. And that, I mean, that is massive because Booker is consistent, Durant is consistent, right? If Bradley Beal can add value in other ways that isn't only just scoring, they are going to be a consistently tough
mm,
out. Yeah. So I
mm.
respect. They they legit. Fuck the Suns.
Dallas is gonna get them in round two.
I'd be okay with that
Oh,
actually. No, I'd be okay with it. I think at that stage, uh, teams like the Nuggets would maybe scare me even more than the Suns. Because Nuggets are the Thunder would scare me more than the
mm,
Suns. Yeah.
mm. Kirk, give me your thoughts on the Suns.
Tyus Jones.
Mm,
Now, there's a name you wouldn't ever think you'd hear mentioned
mm.
in a team's turnaround.
Yeah, true.
And I heard Bradley Beal say the other night that he's actually, because he's been ball dominant his entire career, and now he's not the point guard, and he's actually having to learn to play off the ball,
Mm,
and that's why he's trying to get involved in other ways because scoring is not his primary role anymore.
mm,
Mm,
He's one of three now. So,
mm. He's
and he's
number
not
three, not one
he's,
of
yeah,
three.
he's
He's
not
number three.
number
It's
one of.
different. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones has, I think, the best assist to turnover ratio
mm,
for the last couple of years now. And this bra just keeps the offense ticking over. He's not flashy, he's boring as fuck, but he lets people eat when they must eat,
mm,
and they're eating clearly.
In fairness, that is a great stat. It is cool to see. I do dig Tyus Jones. I mean, good for him, right? But in fairness, it's easy to have a good turnover
Yes,
to assist ratio if the entire offense is one-on-one offense. And all my sole role is to get it over the half court, and then I make one pass to that bra. And that first bra I pass to, he is shooting.
it's KD.
Yeah. I can't
But
turn the ball
remember,
over. I can't
he
turn the
didn't he
ball over in
didn't
three
he
bounces.
didn't get that he didn't get that rep from playing in the Suns. He got it from playing at Grizzlies. And where was he before Grizzlies? I actually think he was only at Grizzlies.
No,
No?
it was Grizzlies. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
mm.
yeah. Same.
Um,
Payne, JJ, Ja.
Right, you have to limit your turnovers. Stop passing the ball to Desmond Bain and fucking that other guy, what's his name? Brooks.
Okay. But all those
If you
guys,
can
yeah,
come out of
I
that
touch, I shoot.
looking good, then you legit.
You are right. You are right. Yeah.
No way.
Moving along. Moving along. The Wonder Kid, Victor Wembanyama. Chris Paul joined him.
That's not
I love.
Victoria.
I love the
It's also not the
narrative.
Spurs.
I know. I know.
What you say? You calling Wembanyama Paul for short?
No, I'm saying that they
Victor
linked up
Ball.
a experienced superstar uh,
Yes.
to teach this young lamb the flow of a game. And I don't know if he can teach Victor how to win a championship, but what he can teach Victor is being a professional and what it takes to be a professional in this league, right? Tim, I'm gonna start with you. Uh, Give me just your thoughts on Victor thus far, and then if Chris Paul's gonna make any difference, or is this just a learning curve for the Suns?
Cool. First of all, there's a huge Victor hype, right?
Mm.
Not only in the league, but in our fantasy league, right? Victor went number 1 in our draft. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who picked him? Who?
Who did
Oh,
pick him?
who did pick him?
Ah,
Wasn't
I
me.
went all in.
Wasn't you,
No,
Wiz?
you almost picked him. You were.
Ampada.
No, just a couple of things to take your question more seriously. Victor's gonna be just fine. I think it's not just Chris Paul adding value. I think they've got a couple of guys who are a few years on, and I think that's useful. I think that they are allowing him to still feel out what he can become. I think that potentially the media and the league might have been a little bit more impatient with, okay, cool, he's going to take this massive step forward, but he's so young, and we mentioned this earlier on. It takes some time for people to come along, right? In your first year, you're generally going to get some reps. In your second year, people are going to understand who you are and they'll game plan for you a lot better. And if you Victor and they were playing Victor games on the NBA League Pass when he was still in France playing in a second division team. Okay.
Right.
One, but that also means that people are prepared for you,
Yes.
right? And these are adults, right? And he's a young gentlemen, but these
Mm,
guys are adults and they've been doing this
mm,
for a while, and there's
mm,
pride and there's ego. And when they play the Spurs, even if they only have a day, their sole game plan is to game plan against that one guy.
mm,
Yeah. Then, so I suppose I think that's a high degree of difficulty. And yes, some players can make it through. He's what 7'6". You'll figure it
mm,
out. And with Chris Paul next to him and Pop on the side, like they'll figure it out. The one
mm.
thing that is weird, just from my perspective, is, I mean, at this point in time, if he was wearing a Golden State jersey, it would look like he's also thinking he's a splash brother, right?
Yeah.
Because at that
Yeah.
size, one, he's actually playing more like Anthony Edwards than anything else. So he's dribbling the ball a lot from the outside and he's pulling up a lot from the outside. Right? And just think about any time that you guys have coached the team, right? You've got a big dude. Actually, when you think about KP, for example, KP, when he was being guarded by this is when you played against Boston and Marcus Smart was able to guard him in the post. It was annoying. It was annoying because he was a foot taller than the dude guarding him, and he's like, just go into the post. I just abuse the guy. Right? Now the reality is that's Victor's every position. I'm a foot taller than everybody else, but I'm playing all of my basketball on the outside. I'm dribbling the ball a lot, and then I'm pulling up. It's just it's weird. But at the same stage, like I think that the Spurs team has got a plan. For example, they played so on last year at point guard, right? For a long time. And the reality was that they played badly with him at point guard. And Pop was going, look, we're trying to help this guy become a playmaker. We're trying to help him get into a Draymond role. And so that means that we've got to give him reps with the ball. And he's going to turn the ball over and he's young. We might lose a few games because of it. Right? So this year they moved him off the ball. Chris Paul's got the ball, but he's a facilitator in that high post role, and a lot of that they attribute to the reps that they gave him, and then they've lost on. And so, is Victor living up to the hype of the beginning of the season? No, but I suspect that there's some institutional wherewithal around how they're playing, what they're exposing him to, that's going to make a difference in the future. They must just keep him. Otherwise, they've just invested in him somewhere else. But I suspect there's a plan. There's too much experience there for there not to be a plan.
Yeah.
And they're competitive on certain nights, and other nights he's young and he looks bad and they cuck.
Yo, when he looks bad, he looks bad.
Woo.
Yeah. But when he looks good,
Woo.
I mean, in his last game, he scored 30 points, 14 assists, 10 rebounds. He shot 6 of 12 threes. That motherfucker, if he wants to shoot, let him shoot. If he wants to shoot from off, let him shoot. You know what? That brother's all right.
Yeah. Speaking of
I just sorry to cut you short, but in answer to your question, you know how much of a fan of CP3 I am. I love the guy to death. And no, he can't teach them how to win a championship because the fucker hasn't won a championship. So
I know.
but he is the right person in that role. I think his experience and his knowledge and just how he sees the game, he's gonna be amazing for Wemby. I think it's a great fit.
Victor doesn't always look ruthless, especially when he's having a bad game.
Yeah,
and Chris Paul can teach him that.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like he's a lighty, bro. If you miss a pair of shots, it's not going liquor. He's going to cheesy loping around.
Yeah, and to be fair, he can have 3 more bad seasons.
No,
and still be.
Bro, I didn't draft that, bro, for kak.
Get some perspective, Wiz. Get some perspective.
When Kirk is busy saying it's a great fit, I think it's gonna be. He's selfishly like, you better work. You better.
I would like you to take back all that objectivity kak that you said about Kirk in the beginning.
It was all fake, Tim. It was all fake. Speaking of, to quote Tim, there's too much experience for them to be cuck. Is not happening in Milwaukee. All the experience. Kirk, I want to leave this with you, bruh. All the experience. They've got Doc Rivers that did win a championship in the past. They've got Giannis that won a championship in the past. They've got a winning culture. They've got a club that looks like they got things going. They land Damian Lillard and they can't get going, bruh. What is happening in Milwaukee, Kirk Daniels?
Doc's a fake.
You're nuts.
Bruh.
Doc is fake.
Doc's a fake motherfucker, man. My bro, we were talking the other night, no? And I was saying. So, I mean, like, if you look at Doc's CV, right, you'll be like, yo, this bruh, okay, he had a quiet job in 2008 or whatever it was. And ever since then, he's moved from job to job and he's been mediocre. But let's call the bruh in and have an interview, though. And I'm saying that this bruh must interview sober fuck because you come in with this piece of cuck CV. You're like, yeah, I went to Clips, failed, went to 76ers, failed, but I'll turn you guys around. I mean, we must have all the kata in that interview for them to walk out saying, you know what? I think it's going to work this time.
I think this time. This time it's gonna work.
This time he's gonna
Mm.
get it right. Like he
But
did
on the
that
on
last
the on
time.
the real though, why do you think they look
So like
sad?
I mean, I was watching the Boston Milwaukee game, and in big games that are close, he gets outcoached, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. He just gets outcoached.
Tim?
Um, so I I find it hard to disagree with some of the things that Kirk said, but maybe we're being a bit harsh on Doc, right? And I can completely understand how he can position himself in a CV. So one, they win, and he wins with Boston, right? That's great, and he makes his name as a players coach. He's a great human manager,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And actually at the Clips, for all those seasons, they did really well. They were
mm,
competitive in each season. They did well in the playoffs in each season, right? He had some bad injury luck, right? Well, I suppose Blake and more importantly, Chris Paul,
This is how
right?
Doc interviews.
No, completely. But I'm giving it to you because I think that that's real, right? I can see why people would slick it as well, right? Um, and the reality is that in most of the times when they lost, they were actually 3-1 up. Like they were there. They were
yeah,
right
yeah,
fucking there.
yeah,
Yeah. And then okay, you mentioned the Sixers, but that whole institution is dysfunctional. So I don't think that he takes the stink of that solely, right? And they could point at the variety of just flawed culture, potentially flawed players, not listening, whatever. So all of those things, there's some plausible deniability in each case.
mm,
Um, I with regards to the Bucks,
mm.
they make me sad.
Nah,
They make me
they make
very
me
sad.
sad, bruh.
They make me
I'm
very
like,
sad.
the Bucks is the team that I'm supposed to get excited to watch because they've got a beast in Giannis. They've got a showstopper in Damian Lillard. And they just like, mwah, mwah, mwah. Just, yeah, it's sad, dude.
They got Fokuels around them. I think Kirk makes a very good point though. I think because if you watch the games, they are competitive throughout. They really are. Like a few games that I was catching up on them, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is looking promising. Oh, they look dangerous. And then maybe I step away or switch to another game, and I come back, and then I've lost. They've lost, and it isn't that close anymore. And I think Kirk's 100% right. I think he is getting out coached at the end of the game, and maybe there's also a side thing in here because they brought him in to be a people manager, so that the club revolted against Budenholzer, right? The
Mm,
players did, really. Okay, they didn't want to play for him anymore. They didn't believe. That's fine. So then, what do? You go and get somebody who's a great people manager. That makes complete sense.
yeah.
Unfortunately, if you do that, then you need to surround that person with X and O's people. So, for example, Jason Kidd, right? He seems to surround himself with X and O's and people manager stuff. So you have Dudley on the side, you've got that other short dude who seems to call all the technical plays and do all the subs, and then Jason just does the press conference at the end. Right? Who's
Mm,
the primary assistant coach to the Bucks?
don't know.
Darvin Ham.
Really?
People manager. And sometimes if you surround yourself with people with the same strengths and same weaknesses as you, right, then like where you gonna go with that? He also seems to be an incredibly dominant personality, right? And so then you'll eventually start having that same effect over and over and over again. So yeah, I think what Kirk has said is right. I think that I mean I hate to be hard on the guy, but I think the coaching isn't going to help him. I think their lack of defense isn't going to help him, right? And Dame's inconsistency is a real problem.
Maybe.
It's a real problem. He's more inconsistent than Wemby at this stage.
Mm,
And so he's got a wonderful reputation. And some games you look at the stat plan, it's amazing. Right? In other games, he's mwah, 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 mwah. And then Giannis also just play differently. Right? Like
mm,
I can't understand how neither Bud nor Doc could get him to run a system which doesn't have him ISO bowling on the side. It's the worst thing you can do. Literally,
mm.
everybody when they play whenever a team plays against them, all coaches turn into Jose fucking Marino and they park a bus. They go, cool, he's going to get the ball on the side. Everybody in the key. Everyone in the
Swallow.
key.
Yeah.
Just do it,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so if you know that, run something. Run him off on the weak side and start the ball on the strong side. Have him moving, have him run off a pick. Have him moving with the ball so he doesn't bounce the ball more than once. Why do they not do any of that stuff? And I'm gonna go, they've had strong coaches there, right? Regardless of their reputation, they've had strong regular season coaches. If they're not doing that, then I place some of that blame on Giannis. My guy, stop fucking shooting. You don't need to be the ISO ball guy, right? And like, he's got to take his fair share. You're the primary player in that team. You're taking off the fucking salary cap, right? Do something fucking different.
Mm.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my
To
rant.
wrap up, fellas. Kirk, a neutral, non-NBA watching basketball fan has to go and watch one team this week. Who would you recommend they should watch this week?
Dallas. No, I'm lying.
It's all lies. It's all lies.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. Who should they watch? Who should they watch?
I'll say OKC. I really
Okay.
think OKC. Yeah.
Okay. Timmy?
OKC and the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to see LeBron do shit and put up a triple-double at 42. If you haven't seen it, go watch it once, see it, and then you don't have to go watch another game. But you must watch at least one Lakers game.
Yeah. Or 82.
Or 82.
Timmy, outside of Dallas, who should people go and watch?
I think you should get up to go and watch Golden State tomorrow at 5 o'clock because
Dallas.
You are the worst. You are the worst. You are the worst.
That is the best one to me. You get all the props for that one. Well done. Well done. Well done. And who must you watch after that?
I think if we're gonna go for the week, right? I think that the unbeaten hype train at 12 is gonna start to get more and more interesting because every team the Cavs play are gonna be the one. I think each one of those games are gonna start turning into like playoff type games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody's gonna want to beat them.
100%. 100%. Right. And I think that that's going to become more and more fun as this goes along.
Kirk?
There is actually another team that you must watch is Boston. Go watch Boston play. Boston are playing quiet.
They are.
For real. They are playing quiet.
But we expect that though, right? I think over the last 3 seasons,
absolutely,
the Celtics have proven that they will play decent to average to above average more often than not. They will put up a good show. They might have an off night, but if you watch them for 82 games, more often than not, they will pitch up on the night and play well. More often than not.
I mean, who doesn't like watching a team take like 70,000 3-pointers?
Facts.
Like,
they take a fracht.
Swing, bah! Swing, bah!
But weirdly, the prettiness isn't in the bah. It's in the attitude around the swing.
Yes.
That's the most fun part of it, right? The Owen's looking for that. Like in the beginning, okay, I'm gonna use Dallas only because I've watched this, right? But when they were swinging the ball and Luka was passing the ball to whoever it was on the side, Clay, and Luka started running away before Clay even shot the ball up. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Boston are great. Boston are great. I have to admit.
Yeah.
Hurts my soul to say it.
Guys, we're gonna wrap it up over there. We did it. We got our first episode done of season 4. Also, we made it to season 4. And you guys know how I always said from the beginning, like just to get to 3 seasons is amazing. We've made it to 4 seasons. And may we continue to have an amazing season this year. Lakers in 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lakers.
Peace out, fellas. Have a lovely
No way.
evening.
Shot.
Thanks, gents.
Till Kirk calls us again.
No way. In person.
Yeah. Cheers, homies.
Okay, laters.